Welcome to WFPC Podcasting, your local source for the heart and history of Pike County, Indiana. And now, here's your host, Randy Harris.
Welcome to WFPC Podcasting. This is a weekly look at news, information, and the people in and around Pike County. We have a couple of new principals in Pike County. We've met Mrs. Pancake at Petersburg Elementary, and today we meet Mr. David Couchenour, who has taken over the helm at Pike Central High School. Mr. Couchenour, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Walk us through your journey. Where did life start for David Couchenour?
Well, I was born and raised Knox County. 1971, I think my grandfather actually probably delivered me.
Was he a doctor?
He was a doctor in Knox County. And so anyway, mom and dad, there were 4 kids growing up. Mom and dad, my father was an educator. He was a principal at Clark Middle School when I was growing up. He had started off as a social studies teacher and a football coach, became a guidance counselor, went into administration. He became an administrator. I have a sister that is a principal at Riley Elementary in Vincennes. I have a brother who's a special education teacher at Lincoln High School. My oldest sister originally went into education, and then she did that for about 5 or 6 years. She got out and became a physical therapist. So I come from an education background.
This is the family business.
Yeah, I come from an education background. So anyway, went to Vincennes Lincoln High School, graduated in 90, went to Indiana University, went to VU first, then Indiana University, got social studies education, got my first job coming out of college at a Catholic school on the west side of Indy called Cardinal Ritter High School. It was a private Catholic school. I taught U.S. history, government, econ, world geography. I coached, when you first come out as an educator, and this was in the 90s, and even well before that, when you came out, if you were a rookie, then you were doing stuff. All right.
You had the extracurricular stuff.
Yes, yeah. And so I coached cross country. I coached boys basketball, freshman for a couple years. I went over to girls basketball my last year up at Ritter. And I coached girls softball up at Ritter. And so, I remember coming out of my interview, and it was 5 days before school started. And I remember coming out of my interview, and the guy, the principal interviewed me, and he asked me what I was interested in doing. And I told him, I'll do whatever you guys need me to do. I played football, basketball, golf, track, stuff like that when I was younger. And he perked up a little when I said track, and I said, I'll be willing to help out and do whatever you guys need me to do. And so I walk out of the office, and we're walking down the hall, and the athletic director is having a cross-country meeting with some kids that are interested in cross-country. And when we go into that room, the principal introduces me to the AD and the students and said, "This is your new cross-country coach." And so that is how I got that gig. You know what I mean? I told him I'd be willing to do anything. Well, little did I know that was a yes to being the cross-country coach.
So you knew track. Did you know cross-country?
Oh, not really. Not really. I leaned on some of my other track coaches at Ritter to kind of give me some distance stuff. I did have a girl my first year who was an exceptional runner. She actually went to semi-state, so it kind of made me look like I knew what I was doing. But we had a good time. We were successful. The kids had fun with it. And that, relationships is kind of what I guess hang my hat on. If you're interested in kids and show a vested interest in them, then more than likely they're gonna do the things that you need them to do. And that's not just education; that's society. That's being a human being. If you show a vested interest in people are more than likely going to be nice to you. And that's, I know you got a young lady at the building, but I in my announcements every morning with "be nice," and I tell the kids it's not just a cliche. it's what we need to do, right? It's part of being a human being. It's not part of being a student. It's part of life. So
I think I told you this on the phone. My daughter Jenna came home. I don't know if I was taking her to school or if she'd come home, and I said, how was your new principal? And she said, oh, he's jolly.
Jolly. I actually said something to her the other day about that. She kind of made me chuckle.
I heard that. Yeah. I heard about it. Yeah. She said, you didn't.
Well, sorry, Randy, but it made me chuckle, so I wanted to tell her. I said the only other person I've ever heard to referred as jolly is Santa Claus, so I guess I'm in decent company. But anyway, I just, I love doing what I'm doing. Been doing it for a while. I'm a 30-year educator. This is my 31st year.
And you still love it. You love
Absolutely.
It. You love inspiring kids. You're very active with these kids. You've been here, what, three weeks, yeah. And you have great interaction with them. They all know you already. You know them.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying, and that's part of it. Again, I'm not doing it to, shake hands and kiss babies. I'm not doing it to that. I'm doing it because it's who I am. We need to build relationships. We need to be able to get, if the kids know that you have an interest in them, and I'm not doing it just to, I'm doing it because it's who we are. We need to show an interest in our kids. We're raising them, we're educating them. And so I do it because I love going down to the lunchroom. I love walking the halls. I love popping into classes. I love being with the kids. If we're not doing that, then we're not in the right profession. And I just feel like we need to, if you show a vested interest in people, then, and again, I'm not doing it as a slogan. I'm doing it's because it's what we should do. It's who I am. I enjoy.
It's what education should be about.
I enjoy being around kids, community. The community has embraced me. This. Absolutely. Yeah. I tried business for about a year in college, realized it wasn't what I wanted to do. History has always kind of been my game. And so I knew that I wanted to be an educator. And I got into it. And I've heard people say before that whenever you become an administrator, you get further away from kids. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like it gives you an opportunity actually to be a little bit more involved with kids. You're
involved with all of them now, not just your 25, 30 kids.
Right. I got 451 in that building, and it's it's imperative that I get to a point where I'm working on my seniors first, Randy. So I know yours. I've popped up to her table a couple times at lunch, but I got to get my seniors, and I'm working my way through them, and I'm getting most of them. But I know my kids. They know me. My wife asked me how the first day of school was when I got to Pike, and I came a little bit late. They'd been in for 8 days, and I got to throw something out to Mr. Elliott and Dawn Limcooler. They had that place. Everybody, actually, not just those two, but that place was running real smooth when I walked in the door. And Mr. Elliott, God love him, he's a wonderful man. If you haven't got to meet him, you need to meet that guy.
His heart's in the right place.
Oh, he's wonderful. Yeah. Anyway, he's made my transition great, and he had it going pretty smooth. So whenever my wife is Betsy, whenever Bets said, how was your first day? It was a little, how'd you feel? And I said, to be honest with you, I went in and I just did what I normally do as principal from my previous school. I said, so for me, it was kind of just a normal day. I said, for them, it may have been a little bit different. The teachers, the faculty, staff, students.
What's the new guy going to be like?
Yeah, who is this guy, right? So for me, it was okay, but, it worked.
RSO officer, is he kind of hard to deal with?
Are you teeing one up for me, Randy? Buck's great.
He is great.
He's back there right now. God love him, because Hunter's away today, and so Buck knew I was coming in here, and Buck's running the show. So I told him and Dawn that I'd be back soon, but no, Buck's great, funny guy, does his job.
He cares about kids.
Loves the kids. You know, I like that people notice that I'm out and about, but it's not just Dave Couchenour. I mean, Hunter's out and about, Buck's out and about. We got people
are always greeting me when I drop Jenna off of the morning.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, it's part of it, right? I mean, it's why like you said, it's why we got into this business, or it should be why we got into this business.
Thanks for watching WFPC Podcasting. Let's take a quick 60 seconds to hear from our episode sponsors.
WFPC welcomes a new sponsor, Hathaway Excavating and Rock Yard, located right here in Pike County on State Road 64, just west of the Arthur Junction, near the new Pike County EMS building. Besides excavating and dirt work, Hathaway Excavating adds a rock yard to their bundle of services, along with all kinds of dirt work, septic cleaning, septic installs, and always local friendly service. Hathaway Excavating and Rock Yard, 812-582-2646. Recently, the real estate market has been unpredictable, but at Harris Real Estate, we still have clients looking for homes and properties. Let us help you sell your home or property and or find your next one. We're local. We know the business. We know the community. Harris Real Estate has listed and sold hundreds of properties right here in Pike County. Harris Real Estate, 812-380-1065. And when you wash your vehicle on a regular basis, there are many advantages. You're easier to see, you preserve the life of your vehicle, you help maintain its value, protect its paint, prevent corrosion, and it just looks better. It only takes 6 quarters or your credit card to get it started. Stop by Petersburg Car Wash today, 401 South 9th Street, Petersburg. So let's back up. I missed a step. VU, IU, business wasn't it. You went back into the family business of education. Your first job out of college was in Indianapolis, parochial private school.
Yep.
Then where did you go?
So I was there for 3 years, and I came back home to Clark Middle School, which is where my father had been a principal, and he had been retired. He was retired at this time, but I took a 6th grade social studies position at Clark Middle School, and I taught that for 5 years at Clark. And while I was there, I coached football and basketball, and just football and basketball when I was at Clark. So then 6th grade social studies, we started an 8th grade world geography class. And then in 2003, an assistant principal's position came open. In 2000, I went back to Oakland City down here to get my administrative license. So I was able to knock that out.
In the year 2000?
2000 to 2001, they had a 12-month program.
I think my wife, Denise, was in
Might have
that,
been around that time.
That same...
Maybe. I mean, my assistant principal back where I just came from, he was in a class. There's a 6th grade, or there's a middle school PE teacher named Kelly Brashear, that was in a class there a couple years after I was. So yeah, Oakland City, that's the program that I went through. Yeah. So I got mine. I started in July of 2000. In June of 2001 is when I graduated, got my administrative license. I remained a teacher for a couple more years, just had my license.
Still at Clark.
And then in 2003, the assistant principal's position at Clark opened up. And I applied for and got that. And then from there, and back then you had to give up coaching whenever you were an administrator in Vincennes. So I gave up my coaching. But that was about the time, I think I told you, that I was able to jump on the radio and do some ball games with Dave Young on WZDM. He did the Alice's on basketball games. And so Dave and I did that until I left. South Knox assistant position opened in 2010. So I'd been at Clark for 7 years. So I was an 8-year educator, 3 years Indy. Got married when I came back to Vincennes to Betsy. Been married 27 years now. So 3 years in Indy. Got married the summer I came back to Vincennes. 5 years as 6th grade social studies at Clark. 7 years as assistant principal at Clark.
You have a little similar path with Mrs. Pancake now at. Did you two cross paths at Clark?
We crossed paths. I was already at South Knox.
All right.
When Melissa then
That was 2014, I think she told me.
Yeah, her?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was at South Knox whenever Melissa came in. But yeah, I know Melissa from years of just administrative things. Knox County was part of a co-op, special education co-op, and so we had a lot of meetings there. But then we also would go to conferences, and we'd spend a lot of time together with different things. So I'm very familiar with Miss Pancake. So yeah,
it's ironic that you both wind up here at the same time.
Same time, yeah. You know, there's time for change, right? I mean, there's just there's times in your life whenever things. I mean, nobody ever said I'd leave Clark Middle School. You know, I'm a Vincennes Couchenour. My dad and my sister and my brother and me. We were all educators in Vincennes, and my older sister, before she went back to school, was an educator in Vincennes. So, but you know, over the course of time, you just. I mean, the Lord. It's you don't know where your path is going, right? And if you try to tell him where your path is going, he's going to laugh at you, because he has where his decisions are made, and you don't question the path that the Lord puts you on. And so it worked out that South Knox opened up, and we applied, we got it. My wife is an educator. She was in Vincennes with me. But 3 years later, then she came on out to South Knox. She's still an educator at South Knox. So I was at South Knox for 15 years, 5 years as an assistant, 10 years as principal. This position opened up. I reached out to Dr. Blake, had a very good conversation with her, met with Hunter, met with other people, and like I just said, you know.
You know, Dr. Blake is a Pike Central graduate.
Yes, she is. I mean, almost everybody is. Whenever you get out here, you're not.
No,
you're not. But
and you know, back to Providence. I never planned on coming to Petersburg, Pike County, but never thought these shoes would trudge across Pigeon Creek.
Yeah,
I was on the west side. That's where you stayed.
Yeah.
But that's not how it worked out. You embrace it.
Yep. West side.
So I was raised by a social studies teacher. Then I married one.
I'm a darn.
So
good for you.
Got a little bit of your
history.
Understanding.
You get it. Well, and you are a history buff, clearly. So then this worked out, and it's just so far so good. I mean, I'm 3 weeks in. You know, I hope that they feel the same way about me as I feel about them in January. I don't anticipate that we won't feel the same way about each other. But I mean, the kids have been wonderful. My faculty and staff are great. Just so far, everything's just been great. And I didn't expect it to be any other way, to be honest.
In your 30 years, education is changing, isn't it? What are you? I remember. Yeah. What are you seeing?
Well, you know, I'm gonna keep it a positive here. So I mean, classroom wise, it's just more. It's more digital and computer and different things like that. You know, we have to embrace technology, and so teachers over the course of time have dove into that a little bit more. Some of the things that, speaking of just specifically to the school, some of the things that I've noticed, you know, we have a media and tech class at Pike Central. journalism and yearbook and newspaper and those types of things have gone a little bit different than they were when you and I were in school. There was a dark room when you and I were in school, and now everything is done digitally. There's more dual credit offerings, more AP offerings and things like that than probably existed when you and I were in school. So in terms of the education of young men and women and within the walls of the building, there's been a lot of changes in how we educate them. Now, it's still, the bottom line is you still have to present the information, and you have to build relationship with kids, and you have to, you got to issue some, the discipline has to be there, but you have to also make sure that we're there to educate them, and not just in social studies, but in life, in my opinion. And so that hasn't changed over the course of time. Educators that are in it for the right reasons, that's their main goal anyway. And, social studies, math, science, English, all the related arts and things like that are things that need to go along with it. Speaking of certain things, the CTE and vocational stuff that we have at Pike Central is second to none, and I'll say second to none in the state of Indiana. I'm going off a little bit here, but our precision machining and our construction and our welding and our ag, we got fire science out there. Our facilities out there in those specific areas, the trades are phenomenal. And I just don't think enough people are fully aware of what it is that we are able to offer out there. I was kind of blown away when I first came and met with Dr. Blake and walked around the building, because there's so many cool things going on that I'd love for the community just to be aware of. Come out and visit us. We'll give you a tour of the places, because there's a lot of cool stuff out there.
Those vocational programs open the doors to kids that aren't being reached.
Yep. Well,
in your normal classroom.
You talked about
stuff my dad made.
Yeah, your father. And how cool is that?
Well, I don't. He was a poor kid growing up on the streets of Evansville, 1930, and what we now know as dyslexia. He was not a good student.
Yeah.
And they ended up putting him in a vocational program called Mechanic Arts.
Yeah.
And it all kind of clicked from there. Same month he turned 20, he went into the Navy as a machinist mate.
Yeah.
It clicked as he matured. He took that and the opportunity the government gave him with the GI Bill, became a social studies teacher of all things.
Good for him. But he had that background in the trades and in the machining and things like that those are invaluable, and we are able to offer those things at Pike Central. And kids are taking advantage of it. We're getting kids in the programs, and we're giving them the skills they need.
Mr. Carter.
Yeah.
He's been there, what?
Yeah, he just retired, actually.
Yeah, so he is not there this year.
40 years, yep, first year out the door. But probably, I think, from what I hear from people, 40 years welding. Well, yeah, I can't tell you what he had done, all 40 of those years, but I just know
think
that
it was all welding.
However many has been welding.
And I was thinking it was since the mid to late 70s.
Yeah, maybe more than 40. But his name's come across my desk, and I've never even met the gentleman. But he established a program.
Today, your recruitment from colleges, you've got different kids.
Yeah.
Going in. How do you recruit teachers to leave their big city universities and come to rural Pike County?
You sell it with the kids. To be honest with you, I'll stack my kids up anywhere. In terms of the salt of the earth, blue collar, hardworking,
values,
good kids. Knuckleheads exist everywhere, But if you build a relationship with a knucklehead, they're not as much of a knucklehead. I mean, that's just kind of all there is to it.
That was the attitude my teachers had with me.
Right. Me too. I mean, yeah. But, you just sell it. I mean, first of all, it's tough getting teachers nowadays. I wish more people would go into the profession. We don't have as many people going into the profession. We're fully staffed, so I'm not saying that it's a Pike Central situation. I'm just saying globally, it has become tougher to get people to go into the education profession. We try to change that. It's as rewarding as any profession there is. But in terms of, I mean, you had asked a little bit ago about how things differ. Not everybody can go to college. Not everybody needs to go to college. We need to be able to prepare them in different.
What's next?
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is we want to prepare kids to be successful whenever they walk out of the doors of Pike Central High School, and whatever that looks like is that's for that kid. And so whatever we can do to bring success to that child, whether it be a trade or a 4-year college or wherever, we just need to put them in a position where they can be successful when they walk out the doors. And I feel like that building and the personnel and the people that we have in the community supports that. And I feel like that, we got good things. Like I said, there are a few different things. We don't want to get. I'm not going to get unpositive. I'm not going to say the word, but I mean, there needs to be. I mean, there's a lot more involvement out there with social media nowadays.
Oh my!
That's stuff that it's just there. I mean, that's society as well. And so it's necessary to just kind of that's something that educators, again, society didn't necessarily have to deal with 30 years ago. Unfortunately, it's kind of made its way into schools, and so those are things that we have to kind of navigate, I guess. But again, it's not. I mean, it's part of the gig. I mean, it's part of it. Every job has learning curves over the course of time. DJs, radios, everybody's got changes. And so those are things that we've had to navigate through, not just at Pike Central, but again, like I said, globally, it's just part of it. And we've done a pretty good job of handling those things. But those are things that 30 years ago just didn't exist in education.
30 years ago, everything was like this.
Right
it
here.
was eye to eye.
Face to face. Yeah.
And now
I would love for that. Now, we don't allow phones in the building, and so it's nice at lunch to see kids talking to each other. You know what I mean? Because you go to a restaurant sometimes, and you'll see families that are sitting there at a restaurant together, and none of them will be talking to each other. And I'm not saying, listen, I'm guilty of that. I'll pull my phone out periodically and stare at it. And so I'm not preaching here. I'm stating facts, but it's just interesting. The conversations just don't exist as much as they used to, right?
I walked up on when we had a restaurant next door. I walked up on a family, and as I was going to speak to them, and as I looked, they were all over there praying, and I thought, oh, back off. They weren't praying. They were all three scrolling on their phone.
I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, we navigate it as best we can. So in the building, out in society, it's just people. It's part of our world now, and it's something we just got to kind of roll with.
If it's global, how do you help direct our kids?
You just self-worth, right? Self-awareness. I mean, every single person has a positive part of something they're good at in their world. Everybody's got something that they can be successful in and good at. And I think for us as educators, it's incumbent upon us to find the good and to not just us find the good in a kid, but get kids to find the good in themselves. Because a lot of times the reason things are on social media is because they're searching for, likes, and they're searching for some sort of validation. Yeah. Pat on the back. And just being able to walk the halls or the streets and just being able to not just school, but society, just to be able to go out and have a smile on your face and be happy is validation enough. And they need to find their happiness. And I think as educators, we got to try to help them out with that. Pat them on the back, tell them you love them. I mean, just show an interest in people. I don't know. That's a tough question, right?
I've got a daughter you haven't met that graduated a couple of months ago, and she came home and we ran down to the dollar store, and the girl behind the counter, I'm standing there doing my business. Those two are just standing there, and I said, "Jayla, Lacey, weren't you two classmates?" And they said, "Yeah." I said, "Aren't you going to speak to each other?"
Well, I mean, they maybe have walked the halls of the place for 4 years. And well, actually, you got to think about it. It's 13 years. I mean, most of the kids, Pike Central, are kindergarten through, either Winslow or Petersburg. Yeah. But then once they get up here in the 6th grade, I mean, so now we're looking at 7 years with the same classmates. And I will say the phones not being there helps them have a little bit more conversations in the hall. I like it
for a parent. I'm gonna pick you up at.
Oh yeah, I mean,
at 3:15 in front of the building.
Well, be that as it may. I mean, back in the day, we had to call mom and dad before curfew just to let them know we were going to be late, and we had to find a phone somewhere,
right? Or a friend's mom's phone,
right? We had to see if they'd let us use the phone at Pizza Hut or McDonald's or something like that, so that we could call mom, let them know we were being late. I mean, so it can't exist. We know that. I mean, you grew up in Evansville, for crying out loud. I grew up in Vincennes, Indiana, where if you weren't cruising 6th Street, there wasn't a whole lot else to do.
Ours was North Park. First Avenue.
But we made it. You found a payphone. You called from a friend's house or whatever and told mom you're going to be a little bit late, or I'm going to spend the night somewhere. Practice is over. Parents, I mean, when my mom was late, she was just late. You know what I mean? I didn't call her or text her or anything. I just stood and waited. And that's just how it was. I mean,
Dad used to say, "You're always the last one out."
Well, that's on you. That ain't on them. That's on us to make sure we get out and are where we need to be. But things have changed, but I've been nothing but blessed in my 30 years as an educator to be around everywhere I've worked. And this is just the next step for me. And like I said, they've really embraced me, and the community's embraced me, and the kids have been wonderful. And there's a lot of positives out there, Randy. I mean, there really are. And I want our community to understand how many good things we have at Pike Central, in the Pike Central Community School Corporation, and it's just Pike County School Corporation. Sorry, but especially in my building, we've got a lot of positive, good things going on, and I just feel like that those are things that I'm not sure everybody is aware of, and. I'd love for them to come out and visit me, and I'll take them around and show them some places and just get to know them, because like I said, I'm getting to know the kids, but it's good for me to get out in the community as well. And
so do you live in Vincennes? Do you live in South Knox? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I actually live on the northern part of Vincennes. It takes about 31 minutes to get here, but I mean, I'm 10 minutes from Monroe City. And so then I'm again, 20 more minutes from Monroe to here. It's a peaceful drive in the morning. I'll listen to podcasts, pray a little bit, just think. Sometimes there'll be nothing on the radio. It just gives me a little bit of just peaceful time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. To work my way over here.
When your announcement came over, I took a screenshot of it, sent it to my buddy Mike Anson. I said, "What are we getting?" And he said, he just replied. He said, "Our loss is your gain."
Wow.
So,
yeah, they've been.
We're
people,
thankful for you.
Yeah, people have been very from South Knox. They've been very nice and appreciative of the time that I spent there, and I've no ill will towards anybody. It was just time for everyone to just.
Well, it sounds like you're a pretty stable guy, and strength is in stability. We hope you're here.
Well, it's my plan. I mean, I don't anticipate going anywhere else. I hope that I'm here as well. I've enjoyed, like I said, so far so good. I hope you guys still think that.
10 years from now.
Yeah. Well, 10 days from now, 6 months from now, I hope that the place is still as warmed up to Dave Couchenour as I am to them. So, but it's good. And Mike's a good dude. A lot of kids went through South Knox, and
he's got a lot of grandkids.
I had almost all of them. Well, over 15 years, I probably had all of them. It took a couple of them. We go on trips. We did, and I'd like to get it started out here. I know Gideon goes to New York City, but we did a DC and a New York, and then we were able to start a Europe trip. And I think I've had Ansons on all of them. And so it's kind of
Ansons or Singletons.
or Singletons on every single one of them. And there's about 6 or 8 Singletons. Anyway, it's fun. It's fun. Tommy graduated with my wife Betsy.
Okay.
Yep. So that's Tommy. I was class of '95, so he graduated with my wife Betsy. So yeah, I've known Ansons even when I was in Vincennes. Yeah, that's just as a Knox County name, Yeah.
Where do you see education 10 years from now?
Well, I'd like to see. I think that there's been a move over the course of time, last couple of years, really since COVID, where digital, like when I mean that, I'm talking out of the school, I'm talking online, homeschool curriculums. And I think, there's money out there in those gigs that people are doing with that online curriculum where kids are staying at home. I think that there is some value in that in some regard, but I think that you miss out a little bit on the social aspect of education in schools and being able to have those face-to-face conversations and things like that. So where do I see it? I fear that it may head that direction because we've seen more and more kids get out and go that direction. But I'd love to see it. I'd love to see kids get back into the building. I know that the Department of Education has pushed for a lot of kids to get out of the building and to kind of declare a pathway maybe at their freshman year. Again, there's some value in those kids getting that. But you and I both talked about how, we both... I changed my mind after my first year of college. And so to expect a freshman to be able to pick a path at 14 or 15 years old, I mean, they need to be going to dances, and they need to be walking the halls, and they need to be playing sports and getting in the band and the choir and, FFA and stuff like that. They don't need to be worried about what their career is going to be.
It's going to take care of itself.
Yeah. And so I think that education is headed that way, where they're going to try and kind of push kids in those directions. I wish I could say that it wouldn't be like that, but I just feel like that's what it's going to be. Now, I will be honest with you. I'd love to increase an internship. I'd love to have internships for our seniors and have the community get involved there and send some of our kids out the door to do that. But I guess just to make them come up with those decisions when they're freshmen in high school just seems a little ambitious to me. Seems a little
my freshman
wrong-minded.
I'm
sure
developed in the business, and so I'm always thinking the end goal, and I'll ask Jenna every couple of weeks. So, do you know what you want to do yet? No, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, that's okay. It's okay to be a freshman in high school. Just be a freshman. Go to the dances. Find friends and get involved in different things like that. Now, there's some people that know they want to be a doctor, lawyer, farmer, businessman. There's some people know they want to do that when they're in the 6th grade. That's great. Fantastic. But to mandate that kids are making those decisions that early, I think is a little, I just don't think I think it's not very far. I don't know what word I'm looking for here. I just don't think it's a good idea. And hopefully
my freshman
we can
year,
get back to the grassroots.
My freshman year, sophomore year, I had a job as a stock boy. I thought, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life.
Right.
And that changes and it develops. And
you get a little dime in your pocket. Maybe you got a car. Maybe you can start doing stuff. And that, I mean, you think that this is what you're going to do, but
then radio came along.
And it's been a blessing.
I'm going to do that the rest of my life. Well, it took about a 25-year hiatus, but this is similar.
Worked out okay.
It's a hobby. Doesn't have to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, where's it going to go? I mean, I don't know if I really answered that question. I mean, who knows? I mean, everything's cyclical, and so things usually come back around. I mean, the graduation pathways, you talk to counselors across the state of Indiana, especially the 2 that I have in my building, and they will tell you that, over a 10-year period of time, the graduation requirements or pathways from the Indiana Department of Education have probably already changed 3 times. So you give it time and it's probably going to change again. But I mean, I want our kids to be successful. I'd love to expand our internship program, get the community involved a little bit in with my seniors to see if we can get some of them out and get involved in some stuff. But to mandate it at an early level, I just don't think it's that great of an idea. Yeah, we'll do what we're supposed to do. We'll get them ready. We'll get them prepared, and we'll follow the rules and educate them. But I'd like to see us get more grassroots, kind of back to basics: reading, writing, arithmetic.
And you've been getting to know your staff. The ones that you're in close association with, Dawn, Hunter, and Buck.
Yeah.
You're thrilled with them. You're getting to know the individual teachers and departments.
Yeah, I've made my way around, and don't quiz me right now, but I know them, and I'm calling them by name. That they are usually in the hallway standing next to each other, so I may mix this name with the other person's name that's standing next to him. But I got them all, and they know me, and so I'm getting to know all of my faculty and staff just by getting out. And Karen Richardson and Brittany Beesterfield are my counselors, and they've been wonderful. They're fantastic. And they're able to navigate the graduation paths for these kids. Fantastic. And so I appreciate, their knowledge of that and just working through some things. But I mean, I will, I was hoping to have her done by Labor Day, but I'll get most of my kids. I'll have all my kids hopefully by Christmas.
When you say
I'm getting them.
You most of them, you mean knowing them by name?
Name.
Wow.
Yeah, I just want to be
Working
able to.
on the seniors first.
I'm trying. I mean, everybody. Like I said, I sat down at your daughter's table probably the first day I was there.
And she's a freshman.
Yeah, she's a freshman. So, but I don't know that. When I'm coming in, I usually a lot of times just in the hall, I'll say, which one are you again?
You're saying name? You will sit down at their table at lunch and just carry on the conversation.
Yes. Yes.
Isn't that cool?
Well, I think it is. I hope that they embrace that, but I mean, that's how you get to know kids. I mean, when I'll say hi to them and I'll be in the halls during passing periods.
You brought a memory back.
Okay.
4th grade, Buford Williams, principal at Perry Heights. I think he did that with us one time.
Nice.
He drank ice in his milk.
Okay.
I still remember that.
Good for him.
I'm okay with it.
So, I mean, see how impactful that was, though? I mean, you remember it. You remember the guy coming in and sitting down next to you at the table. And so, again, I'm not doing it to run for office or anything. I'm doing it just because I want to get to know my kids. Yeah.
Connect.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's all about that social interaction. Otherwise, they can just be online.
Yes.
Over there scrolling at things that maybe they shouldn't be scrolling on.
Yeah, right. Right. Now, we keep them off phones at school anyway, so we shouldn't have that issue. But yeah, it's just you show a vested interest in kids.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it. I've referred to this before, but Mrs. Pancake was in a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
She stops by every classroom every morning.
It's awesome.
Just stands in there, listens, and learns what they're learning.
Yeah. When I'm done with my announcements, I usually go for a walk.
In middle school, Jenna did the announcements every now and then.
Did she?
Yeah.
Did she? We've instituted where we've got kids come up and they do the pledge for us. And then I'll do my announcements, my morning announcements. And then what I'll do is I usually just go for a walk and pop into classrooms and say, hey, or if I can't get to every classroom, I'll try to break it up. And, but yeah, I mean, there's always work to be done, but that's the best part of the work to be done is getting out. Yeah.
Yeah. And that paperwork's still going to be there at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that stuff. I mean, there's situations that need to be dealt with and handled, expeditiously, but you also, if you have an opportunity, anytime you get an opportunity, you need to be out and about amongst the kids and the faculty and staff. For no other reason than, I mean, obviously it builds relationships, but your presence, teachers, faculty, staff, adults' presence in the hallway cuts down on knuckleheadness. You know what I mean? Kids, when they see adults and they don't know where adult is going to be or pop up, you know what I mean?
I think Denise told me one night you were at the volleyball game.
Yep, I've been to a couple volleyball games, tried to get out I got to a soccer match, got to a golf match. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not doing it, Randy,
You're not not a politician.
No.
But you've got to know your people.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of it. And I want to see what they do outside of the building. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The more kids do, in my opinion, the more involved you are, the more you do as a kid, the more successful in all kinds of. Yeah. I mean, it's just
build your resume.
Yeah, but internally, right? I mean, not just for
not paper,
college or whatever. Yeah, just a positive
your portfolio.
Yeah, and of who you are. And so I like to get out and see them in different places. And
that kid in the classroom might be or in the hallway might be a totally different kid on the football field, and you get to see that side of them as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Or you go down here to JC's or maybe one of the groceries. Yep, maybe one of the restaurants and stuff like that. It's fun to see them out and about. And of course, they don't get that we're human beings also, and that we do eat dinner out sometimes, and that we do go shopping. And so if they see you out and about, it's yeah. Right.
Celebrity.
Right. Well, but if you can say hello to them in those places as well, it is also a positive for them.
A connection.
Yeah. It's a bonus for them.
Lets them know you're there, you care.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're part of the community.
Yeah. And I'm trying to be. I know I live in Knox County, but I mean, I live here. To be honest with you, I mean, my wife has said that.
7 in the morning, and you're here at 7 at night watching the volleyball game.
Yeah. So I sleep in Knox County. You know what I mean? But I've been out here.
I understand that concept.
Right.
I sleep at home.
Yeah. But you spend your time. Yeah.
Here now.
Yeah. So it's been great, though. I appreciate it. Everybody's been wonderful so far. And again, come and visit us. Not you as well, but the people, anybody listening, come out and see us.
If you can get past the SRO
If you can get past Buck, come to the front door, do it correctly, buzz in. Don't try to get in a side door. Come to the front door, say hello to Buck, be nice to him. I'm sure he'll let you in the building.
Mr. Couchenour, your name, we've had different spellings of Couchenours in the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
Couchenour.
Couchenour is how you spell it.
You tell the kids.
When I first got to school, I had a meeting with all of my classes, and I said, okay, let's practice. And I said, it's Coke and hour. It's just as if you were thirsty and you drank a Coke and hour. And so that's what they do. Now, several of them, I said, if you guys want to call me Mr. C or Mr. Coke, I'm good with that. But Couchenour is how you pronounce it. Spelled Couchenour. Yeah, so a lot of people mess it up. I guess it's German, France, right there on the border or something. My old man brought it over, or my great-grandfather brought it over years ago. So, yep, there you go.
Well, we are thrilled and blessed that you're here, and I'm thankful for this exchange. Introduces you to another group within the community.
Yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity to come in here and chat with you. And
I'm glad to know you're an old radio guy.
Well, yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did. It was fun.
It's fun. Doesn't pay the bills very well.
But you know what? That's not why you get into that, and that's not why you get into education. You know, you get into it because you're having a good time and you have fun with it, right? Yeah. It fulfills. Yeah. I had a really good time doing the radio back in the day.
And some people made money in it.
Sure.
I wasn't that good. So.
Well, good luck. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us for this program of WFPC Podcasting. The program is brought to you by Hathaway Excavating and Rock Yard, Harris Real Estate, and Petersburg Car Wash. Please like the podcast and share with your friends so more people can hear about WFPC. You may find WFPC Podcasting on our website, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to your favorite media. Join us next Friday for another episode of WFPC Podcasting, exploring the people, information, and news right here in Pike County. See you next week.
Thanks for watching WFPC Podcasting, your local source for the heart and history of Pike County, Indiana. From back roads to town centers, we bring you the voices, stories, and news that shape our community. Join us on this journey through the past, present, and future of Pike County, Indiana. Tune in next week for the next episode of WFPC Podcasting.